Well, I'm getting ready now to go out and get my chores done. I'm probably going into town later this afternoon to buy propane and to buy groceries and to buy socks because I'm out of socks and whatnot too. You can't really wash things out here right now, not that easily. And hopefully to buy a pair of pants or two as well because I need to do that. There's Rocky. He's just had some ham, so he's all happy and filled with ham. You can tell by the ecstatic expression on his face that he's very happy and filled with ham. Yes, you can. I don't know if you saw him there or not because I couldn't see what the camera was picking up, but I think you did. I'm hoping you did anyway because he's a good-looking specimen of cathood. Anyway, okay. Well, I guess Bill Gates wants to take over the world for the World Health Organization. Yeah, it's funded primarily by him, through his foundation. And now all the governments in the world, pretty much, most of them, are ready to cede power to the World Health Organization, the WHO. Who are you? Yeah, we know who you are. We know who you are. And personally, I don't want them to have power. I don't trust them. I've seen some of the stuff that they have written as far as their plans for the world go, and it's pretty scary, And it isn't just health matters either that they'll be in charge of. It'll be a lot of other things too. They'll have a lot of power, and basically it's a non-elected body. And our supposedly elected officials, I wonder sometimes, but supposedly they are getting ready to cede power to this group of non-elected officials. Even if you think I'm crazy, and even if you think that the World Health Organization isn't evil, like I think it is, even if you think it's a good thing, it's a force for good, you got to admit, they're not elected. They're not elected. What business do they have running a democracy? If that's what we've got, Bottom line is, if I do have a vote, then I'm going to vote no on Bill Gates becoming king of the earth. I'm going to vote no on that. I don't like the guy. I don't trust him. I think he's a weasel. He has connections to other weasels that I don't like. I don't like his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. He says he shouldn't have went to all those dinners. Yeah, I guess he shouldn't have. But what else did he do, We know he was on the Lolita Express flying into the island there where all that misbehavior took place. Epstein's Island there, We know that. Like I say, any guy who's repeatedly visited a place like that, he's not my king, and he's not going to be. Not if I have anything to say about it. Anyway, it's bad. It's bad what's happening right now. These derailments, too, that are happening all over the United States. In case anybody listening isn't aware, the U.S. government can seize all land that it deems uninhabitable. All these derailments seem to be happening in the country. They're happening in rural areas, which isn't unusual because trains travel through rural areas. I understand that. If they're going to derail, there's a good chance they will derail in a rural area. But the issue is this. It's happening a lot. It's happening a lot more than it used to for some reason. That needs to be looked into. We need to find out why that is and to stop it. Yet the government down there seems to have no interest in stopping it. And they're giving the people in North Palestine, Ohio, the shaft right now. They're siding in with the railroad against the people. The people down there, their property value has gone down to nil. If you own a house in North Palestine, who's going to buy it? You have virtually no equity there. I mean, and if you stay there in your house, it may shorten your life by decades because everything's contaminated. And the government has the authority to take it all anyway. Say this place is unfit for human habitation, so we're going to come in and take it. And then where do those people go? I mean, it's a mess, and that's happening all over the place. Then we've got all the fires at the food processing plants. We got the government paying people, farmers, not to farm, and disincentivizing people from farming during a food shortage. That's the time you want to do that. Discourage people from producing food during a food shortage. There's no way that makes sense unless there's something else behind it. Bill Gates again. Everywhere you look, Bill Gates is in the picture. He's buying up all the farmland. They're shutting down the farmers. Bill Gates is buying the land. I mean, he's not going to farm it. What's he going to do with it? I mean, he's taking it out of circulation. He's buying it up to take it out of circulation, to take it out of farming. Because if he owns it, he can say what goes on it. And if he don't want any farming going on, then there's going to be no farming, because that's his land. He can do that. He has that right if he owns it. This is the thing. This is what we're dealing with. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff happening. The same guy, Bill Gates, who was talking about blocking out the sun, actually wanting to block out the sun. Is that not the plot of a supervillain movie? Wanting to block out the sun? He is buying up all the farmland. He's behind so much of this. Him and Klaus Schwab, and we got all these political leaders too, who really aren't leaders, and who I'm pretty sure are more appointed than elected, really. Our Prime Minister in Canada here is an awful twit. The President of the United States right now, well, I don't know what his deal is, but it's not good, Something's going on with him. And the bottom line is this. These people are figureheads, and they've been put in place for a reason, and they are very cooperative with these things that the elites want to do to us. They're supposed to be working for us. Our Prime Minister here is not supposed to work against our interests like he does. He's not supposed to. And in fact, if he does work against our interests, we're supposed to be able to get rid of him. And the same is true in the United States. The reason that the people of the United States have the right to bear arms, the reason for that is in case a tyrannical government was ever to rear its ugly head again. It was partially to protect the United States against another invasion from England, because at the time they didn't know what King George might do. King George was mad at them because they basically rebelled and took the place away from him, and they were afraid he might try to take it back. So it was partially that, but the other part of it was in case at some point in the future a local, homegrown government, not some government in some far-off land, some king or some other government, but the local government, the government of the country itself, was ever to become tyrannical the way the government they had just fought to overthrow was. It was so that the people would be a militia and would fight against that as well. And that's the reason behind all this big thing now, trying to take the guns away from the American citizens. In Canada here, our Prime Minister is trying to take long guns away from hunters and farmers because there's drive-by shootings in Toronto. That doesn't make sense. When's the last time you ever saw a dairy farmer drive his pickup truck into Toronto and start randomly shooting his hunting rifle off on the street? It doesn't happen, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. That's not the problem. Some 50-year-old man that likes to go out and tromp around in the woods every fall and shoot a deer, that's not the problem. He's not the issue. Yet he's the guy that they're targeting. It's not hard to figure out. Something's not right. Something smells bad. Anyway, I've already spoken too much. I suppose I may offend a lot of people with this. And I have a few other videos where I'm sure I've offended people too, but sometimes I just feel compelled to speak. And I sincerely believe everything I just said. And it may resonate with some of you. It may anger some of you. I respect everybody's right to their own ideas about things. And mostly this channel is just about me and my cat over there and how we're trying to survive in this situation and the things we're doing to survive in it. But, you know what? Every so often I'm going to say what I think, and it's not always going to be pretty. That's all. All right. Anyway, on that note, I hope you all have a good day, and I'm getting ready to go outside and do my chores. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.